Hi. So it is it's about 6 o'clock in the evening here. We are in May here at PDX Garden Home, and I thought I would go ahead and do a garden tour. Some of it will be a little bit embarrassing because I let the weeds go quite a bit in some areas of the garden, but I thought this might be something that I can do a video on more often, and that you can kind of see a scope of the project that I have here. So where I'm starting out kind of like basically in the middle of the property. This is in the back of the house where the deck is, and over here to my, over here just behind me, this is the potting shed that's behind me here, and then next to that is a tool shed, storage shed. This is the west side garden, so to speak, which is, it gets some sun here. It's not the biggest part of the garden, and it's not an area that I've put a lot of effort into as I should. So come along with me here. So here, what you see here is we've got some roses, and then I've got a path here. I'll kind of take you this way. These bushes here need to be trimmed back. The design of it, which the plantings here were done by the prior owner. I think they did a pretty good job, of the prior owner of the property. I mean, I think they did a pretty good job, but I haven't kept up with it properly, because what I should do is be cutting down some of these bushes in the front lower, so that these bushes up here, you can get some more view of them, because we've got some nice flowering things to see back here, but they're kind of tucked away back there behind what we have in the front here. And so I could do it I think I can do it kind of like a stair step if I maintain it properly. And then what you'll see here along the pathway here on this side, this is some roses, some other plantings, but there's also a bunch of weeds because I haven't gotten in here and taken care of it yet. Okay, so I'm kind of walking along the west side here, and then we get into kind of a woodland area here. We've got the next door neighbor's house just right over this way, but yeah, so what you'll see here is this little woodland area here. Over there is the next door neighbor's house. So I'm gonna move this way. We're moving along the side of the house here on the property, and we've got a little woodland area here that I need to plant out. I've not done much with it. We pulled the ivy around from around these trees last year. I put a couple of hydrangeas in here that are still there, but I need to come in and pull the weeds, rake it up a bit, and then maybe put some plantings in here. So this is the whole kind of west side here. As you can see, this gets us out to the driveway of PDX Garden Home. So I'm going to kind of rotate here, and leaving the west garden, this is the south garden. This is the back of my pickup truck here that's got some plants here that I'm planning to put in here. I don't know if they'll all work very well. I've got a type of columbine that can handle some shade, but this is mostly shade back here, so I'm not sure if that'll work out for me or not. And then I've got some other kind of perennial plants in here that are designed specifically for shade. There's some epimedium in there, and I forget what else was in there. Yeah, sorry folks, I forget what else I have in here, so I'm just showing it to you, but I don't remember all of it. It's been a long day. I've been doing a lot of gardening in the heat. It was 80 degrees here. It was over 80 degrees here in Portland, Oregon, which by summertime I'll be used to that, but it has been in the 60s until now, and it'll be in the 60s starting again tomorrow. So this is the north garden. Not the north garden. This is the south garden. So there is not southern sun exposure here, because it's been lined with trees, which is nice to keeps the house nice and cool there, to have all these trees in here, right? This lawn here is particularly challenging though, because it basically grows in the shade. So a year ago I basically pulled up the entire turf like a carpet, because it was just all moss, and threw that out, and then we reseeded, and now there's moss again. But I'll keep working on it. It's a project of fun, I guess, to see what's possible. As you can see, I'm kind of just starting in here. I'm trying to lay out my plants. This has got some good existing plantings here, but I want to fill it in more. And as I go through here, I'm walking kind of through what I'd call the south garden, the south lawn, and we're going to head over into the southeast woodland area. And this is an area that I'm also wanting to work on planting out this year. So I'm leaving the south lawn, heading through this gate into the south woodland area. And this is an area that doesn't have a lot of plants. You can see I need to kind of, if I don't want to just leave it all natural here, I'm gonna kind of rake up some stuff to make it look better, and then be putting a lot of plantings in here. I've got a few, as you can see, but not a lot. Mostly weeds around these nice and tall trees here. We've carved a path through the middle of this so that we can then do plantings on either side, and laid down some wood chips a year ago on it. So that's what I call the south woodland garden. As you can see, there's the southwest woodland garden, that is. As you can see, there's a horseshoe pit there. That was from the prior property owner. I haven't really used that. And we're gonna, as we leave this, we're gonna be heading here into to the east garden. And this is the east garden and the round here. So this is where I've got some flowering, got some flowers and bushes and things in here that were pre-existing, things that were set up nicely here on the east side of the house. The flowers that are in here were set up from last year. We've got kind of a wild strawberry that's just gone crazy in there. But I haven't done a good job of maintaining this yet this year. So and this is, as I leave, I'm still kind of in what we call the east garden here, and we've got our fire pit area. I did mow the lawn, so congratulations to me for doing that part. It was getting quite shady. Out on this side, on the very east beyond the hedge, is the street. That hedge gives us nice cover there, gives us some privacy in this garden space here. And there's the house for PDX Garden Home. Kind of move over here and I'll give you guys a backward view of where we were just at. Let me rotate us around here. Sure, this is not good cinematography. It's breaking some kind of rule to rotate this much, but I wanted you to see that's the smoke tree, bush. And yeah, again, the pots and everything here are just kind of leftover infrastructure from last year. What I'm approaching here is the kind of the end of the east garden, and this is the herb bed. This infrastructure was here when we came. Prior property owner had done this, so the rosemary, the chives. I put in the pineapple sage that you can see that is blooming with the red, and behind that there's another path behind where we were in the east garden, between the east garden and the house there, and you can kind of see beyond the pineapple sage, the red. You can see the purple climbing clematis there. Yep, that's what you're looking at there is the jasmine star, fragrant jasmine. It hasn't blossomed yet, but you will smell it from 20 feet away at least once it does, once it starts blooming. So this is the part I'm embarrassed about. This is the kind of the middle garden here between the house and the big between the house and the big north garden. And this is where all the weeds have just taken over because I just haven't gotten to it yet here. There were bushes here in front of this deck that I had pulled out over a year ago. What you're looking at there, we've almost done a complete circle. That's the east side of the potting shed that where we started on the we started this tour on the south side of that potting shed. So water feature I've been working on. It was working last year. I turned it off. I wanted to do some other stuff or fix some stuff with it. I haven't quite figured out the right way to make the water flow perfectly, and so I want to pull all the rocks out and just let it run for a bit and stare at it. So that's a project I have on deck. And then this is what this is the rose gate here. It's a gate with a climbing rose, and it takes us out to the north garden. So the north garden is where most of the major sun is, and this is what you probably often see if you follow anything for us at PDX Garden Home. You often see photos that we do of this. It's usually from here. This is this compost area there, and then this is where I planted peas this year. And this is a corner lot, so up on the what you saw, the driveway for the house, the official driveway for the house is on the south side there, but this side has a side street here and an unofficial driveway there that I use for dumping loads of yard materials. So this is our little fruit orchard here that we've kind of set up here, and then here are tulips here, which have been beautiful this year. They're dying back now. This area has not been, I've mowed, but it has not been completely weeded, so these beds are where I'm going to be putting tomatoes this year. And so I'm not ready to put tomatoes in the ground yet, so I haven't bothered weeding yet. So this is the greenhouse up there ahead, you see, and now we're on the north side of the potting shed. You can see the mirror there, and kind of the staging area with plants and everything is the storage shed actually, and then to the left of that is the potting shed. And then here is the vegetable garden, which is in various states of planted and repaired. Our garlic, of course, is there, and then this is a brassica bed that we've got a bunch of the brassicas planted out already. Kind of take you all the way back here to the north wall. So I'm all the way on the north side of the garden here, and then back over here on the far east side, the northeast side, is an area that I was working on today. This area was all overgrown with weeds and brush and everything from the winter, and so I cleared that all out, put out my mulch, and as you can see, I'm staging my plants of various. I've got hydrangeas and foxglove and snapdragons, and then also some begonias that we'll be planting there. On that corner back there is the Brazilian verbena, and then across the street side there we've actually got roses and peonies, and then that bramble that I'm staring straight at in front of me is thornless blackberries that I need to kind of clean up how that looks. But this is the asparagus bed that I planted, coreopsis, I think, flowers you'd call them. They're little yellow flowers that I didn't anticipate that they were both perennial, because we planted them last year and now they come back in force, and I didn't anticipate that they would be so thick and take over this way. So I think they might have stunted my asparagus, but that's okay. Okay, I'm going to turn all the way around here. Hope you don't get dizzy. And we're going to head back this way. So as I head back this way, across the north side, we've got some red flax here growing into the blueberry bush, some poppies, and I call this lilac row because I have 3 lilac trees here that, no, 4 actually. There's 1 here, 2, 3, and 4, And these lilac trees are, they were, when I first got to the property, they were overgrown about 20 feet to the back to the south, overgrowing these beds. These beds didn't have boards on them. And so I restored the beds, got boards on them, cleaned up the lilac bushes, and they're doing great. It's an area that I'm still working on planting out. You can see I've got it staged with some primroses. By the time I get them planted, they'll probably be done flowering, but whatever. Another flower bed back there, a horseshoe bed that was there, but when we got there, looks like it was maybe something buried or memorialized there, but the flowers are beautiful and looks nice to me, so I'm fine with it. I'm going to plant lettuce here in the back. It's fairly shady, but this was broccoli from last year that I'm letting totally go to seed to see if I can save the seeds. And then back there is the raspberry row. This is a nursery area here. I've got several nursery areas I'll show you here. Let me kind of scan back so you can kind of see the north garden from this angle. There we go. I'm behind the greenhouse now. Okay, so there's the raspberry row. I need to clean up this path that's quite messy right now, and so I'm now walking from north back south. And in here's the greenhouse. It's been quite hot today, but what I've got in here mostly are the hot flowers and hot loving plants, all the squashes, melons, tomatoes, peppers, eggplants. I got all the stuff that doesn't like heat, like lettuce and brassicas and things like that, all taken out, and pansies, all that kind of stuff is all taken out and moved over to our kind of another nursery staging area that I'm still in the process of kind of setting up, because we'll have a lot of stuff as we pot stuff up before it hits the field. And that's pretty much it. Back there is not very exciting. It's just a storage area between the hedge that divides our property from the neighbor's property. So that's the west side again, and there's the storage shed again, and the potting shed. And so with that, okay, so with that, that's the garden. You can see some of it looks great, some of it looks not ready yet, but I'll be working on it. This is what I do for fun and relaxation, believe it or not. But I think most gardeners can believe that. So that's it, and I will see you guys all next time.